the footage that you're seeing over the video right now is not it's really past gameplay like last December in 2024. And uh yeah, it was when I first got my PS5 and I recorded stuff. I didn't have time to record anything today, um or this past week, because I've been so busy. And yeah, okay, on with the video. Hey guys, I haven't posted in like 8 days. Sorry about that. I told you guys I wouldn't post within whatever over a week. About that, I'm sorry. I had a lot on my plate, and I still do. So bear with me, please. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the power of the mind. Okay. Discipline. To train oneself to do something in a controlled and habitual way. It's one of the many definitions of the word, but it's slowly rising to be one of the most used. To train means to practice, and what you need to practice in order to see things differently is how you think. And some people, a very small percentage of people, are complete philosophical zombies, which means they lack the consciousness and subjective feelings towards things. If you clicked on this video, it means you aren't a philosophical zombie. You don't have a fax machine sound effect playing every time you try and form a thought. You can think for yourself, and you can form thoughts for yourself, and you are yourself. You know that it doesn't put a definition on you, because humans are a spectrum and people are a spectrum, and everyone is inherently different, no matter their gender, no matter their sex, no matter what they believe in. They are all different, and no matter what you think separates you, nothing will or what you think, makes like two people relatable. It doesn't. Okay, it's maybe in some ways, but the vast majority of people, it's a spectrum. Okay, we're all people. Anyway, and the fact that you aren't, you can think for yourself, and you are yourself. It doesn't put a definition on you. You are whatever you want to be, and that makes you yourself. And how do I word this? Don't accept a life that's opposite of what you want. But to get a life you want, you have to take risks. You have to compete. You have to have the discipline and the focus to go for it. And if you fail, you get back up and you try again. If you're at the top of a cliff and you're about to take that leap and you fall to the bottom, and you climb it again, you keep trying until it works. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary bitches, bros, and non-binary hoes, that is love. All right? Because discipline always comes with love. You must love something to master it. Let me say that one more time. You must love something to master it. You must love something to master it. Okay, that's how it works in my mind, at the very least. Because in my mind, there are like two schools of thought when it comes to love. There's perseverance and there's letting go. A being perseverance and B being letting go. And these two schools of thought apply to different things. Like, for example, perseverance applies to what I just talked about with discipline, and you get back up and you try again. I just burped. Excuse me. Bless me. And letting go applies to like exes and forgiving people. Not forgiving people because, not just because, they might have like changed as a person completely, and they can make up for what they did, if that's even possible. But forgiving someone because you deserve peace with yourself. Anyway, don't get it twisted either, because letting go is not giving up. It's more like redirection. Okay, redirection of your time and energy and dedicating it to something else. which you can dedicate it to, your big goal or whatever, and your overall, like, what you want to do, pretty much what you as a person want to do, or you as a unicorn, or you as a, I don't even know, spy, whatever you want to be. Um, and in order for you to do what you want to do, to achieve your goals and conquer your dreams, you must take what I like to call the walk. And now the walk, right? That's your journey. Okay, that's the walk is point A to point B. And the walk is about making conscious decisions that move you towards your big goal in life, or your big accomplishment, your big accomplishment, your what you want to do, pretty much. And in order for you to do that, right? One of the key things, one of the most important things in this entire little monologue that I'm doing is that you have to be bold. Okay? It's either be bold or be ignored. You gotta be completely different from the rest. Okay? I know so many people that are complete, like, they just from the way that they look, they're completely different from everyone else. They have a completely different aesthetic and everything, and they're amazing at what they do, and they're proud of it, and it's admiring. It's admirable. Yeah, that's what I mean. And it's inspirational, and it's so cool. And I'm jealous of them, to be honest, because I'm not really following my own advice here. Not all that much, especially with the being bold thing. I'm a pretty normal guy, and I dress pretty normally. Um, but anyway, yeah, freaking, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's be bold or be ignored. You absolutely must be different from the rest. You got to stand out, okay? And you honestly, in my opinion, I think that you should be proud of the people staring at you weirdly, because they aren't confined to the norm. Like, you aren't conformed. You aren't confined to the norm like they are. Once you've broken free of that, you know, you've broken free of the sorry, you've broken free of the norm, and you don't listen to the media, or you can listen to the media if you want, but I mean, like, you're not a trend hopper. You stick to your own stuff and everything, and um you know anyway, you, you're not really you're not really confined to a certain trend, or a thing that everyone's doing, therefore you have to do it. It's like, you can make decisions for yourself. It's awesome. And you're not a philosophical zombie, if that. And that's just more proof that you aren't, if you're able to do that. Anyway, you've broken free of the norm, and you can go to your point B now. You know, and you got to remember, the walk to point B, right? The walk from point A to point B isn't, and never, ever, 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 ever will be a clear path, a clear and straight path. It won't ever be that. Okay, you gotta, in order to maneuver that path, you have to adapt and evolve, and you have to keep the values that you gained over the journey, and evolve past the obstacle that you're at currently, and then you move past it on to, like, going to a point B. And that's just nature. Okay, that's simply just nature. You're you're built to adapt. Okay? You physically, psychologically, and mentally can't stay in the same place for forever. Okay? It is it's not just human nature, but it's just mother nature to adapt to your environment in order to survive. At the bare minimum, survive. And to most animals in the world, that is their point B. It's just to survive. And um yeah, like it's that's probably it, honestly it's probably the easiest part about all of this. You have to you gotta like how do I word this? Imagine it like this. You can you can climb up the hill, okay? You can climb up all the way to the top of the hill, and it's difficult getting up there. But you make it, and you're proud of your accomplishment. And now you can slide down the other side of the hill. Now that's your reward. That's your that's your you know, that's you get what you deserve now. Because you put in that work. It's kind of the same. Sorry, that's my squeaky chair. It's kind of the same with this, right? The hard part, and this isn't even just getting to point B. The hard part with this is getting to point A. Okay? You could be at point zero, and you have to, or you could be at point negative A, and you have to make it to point A before you get to point B. And it's like I always say, you got to live in the present. So you have to adapt to the problems that are coming at you. Not just coming at you, but you are going towards the problems and you have to solve them in order to get what you want, in order to achieve what you want to achieve, and in order to accomplish what you want to accomplish. You have to have that level of discipline in your life and in your mind, and you have to think it every day. You have to adapt to it every day in order to go to point B or point C or point D. Hey, even point Z. Okay? You go until they're there. You go until you're there. Anyway, oh, right. What I was saying, right? You you slide down that hill, and the hard part is just getting to the part where you're at the path. You know, the never straight path. Because the never straight path you can adapt to easily. It's in your basic human nature and your basic psychological, you know, you just know it. You're kind of born to adapt. It's animalistic nature. And uh the hard part is you know, taking the risks, competing, having the discipline, getting back up and trying again, and redirecting your time and energy to something else, and and keeping the mindset that you have to keep going. That's just to get to the adapting part. And once you're at the adapting part, it's basic problem solving. Sure, there's emotions that tie into it that can influence your overall um, decision making and your verdicts, but with your verdicts, you got to make sure you choose the right one, because if you don't choose the right one, you won't get to point B. So you have to constantly think with your mind. Okay? The most powerful thing a human can do, or any animal can do, is think. Although we have no way of proving that anything is conscious, you have to think. You have to stop there and sit for a second, and you have to be like, huh, what am I doing wrong? And if I'm even doing anything wrong. If what happens if they do this? What happens if this happens? What will happen to me if they do this? How will I be affected? You got to adapt to every possibility. That's playing it safe. Adapting to every possibility is playing it safe. Or you could take the cooler route and just go go with the flow, I guess. Anyway, you keep going until you're there, and if you want to, then you keep going. But remember to rest as much as you work, or rest as hard as you work. That's what I was getting at. um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I got school in the morning and a quiz, so yeah.